All right, the topic of discussion today is the travel and tourism sector. It's been months since I did a video on this topic, and back then I talked about if hotels were a good investment. And the conclusion of that video was no. And the reason was because business travel was so far away at that point, and I couldn't see a real case for a turnaround back then. Things are a bit different now, and as promised, I said I would make a video when I saw light at the end of the tunnel for the return of business travel. And here we are today. Alright, first of all, let me just do a summary for those of you who have not followed along on the industry news regarding tourism and travel. And as you can see in the stock graph here to my left, the sector was hit heavily. This stock chart is of a Swedish hotel company called Scandic. They operate a bit in the Baltic area here, and they was hit heavily. Same for travel. I mean, if you think about it, flights were suspended overnight, and many of these businesses closed down temporarily, only for it to turn permanently. Government stepped in with liquidity and aid for furloughed employees. And this big crisis had an effect, as you can see in the stock price. But this is not something new. The tourism and travel sector has been in trouble before. Remember when the two towers came down over in America? Airlines were hit heavily, hotels were hit heavily as well from this great tragedy. But the companies recovered, the industry recovered. It's resilience. The people in it are determined to make their business work and run profitably. And stocks rebounded over time. This time, some people argue that it's different for the hotel sector. Because, well, we have virtual meetings now and digital transformation, and we can just do things over Zoom or Google Meets, etc. I don't believe face-to-face meetings will ever go away, because it's a great way to get to know new people and build relationships. You get to shake the hand of the other part that you're doing business with. So I don't believe this will go away. Although, there's a bit in difference here from age groups. The older boomers are more concerned about safety when it comes to starting to travel again, whereas younger millennials are a bit more open to starting to travel again, according to a survey done by a management consulting firm. I will leave a link down in the description. But to the point of this video, now that I've been building up here with some trends and some data, now it's time for me to bring some personal reference and value to you guys. Because I believe that business travel is on its way back right now. Why are you saying this, Andreas? On what merits are you making these claims? Well, for a starter, number one, right now I'm inviting customers to the first physical meetings ever, physical events, actual events. Alright? Not over Zoom, not watching some recordings, but face to face. Same for other businesses. I've talked to some of my friends who are in other industry sectors than me, and we're seeing events starting to reopen. Also, internal travel. I talked to my parents. They wanted to go to a concert. And they were having some trouble finding a hotel located in the city where the concert was. It was all booked out. And this concert is far away in the future. And there's starting to pop up a lot of concerts now. So it's only a reasonable conclusion to draw that around these time horizons of these concerts, hotels are booked out. So some internal travel and some business travel within nations. So this is the first step. If you remember here talking about a uptick and a return to a more normal for this sector, the first step is nation travel within the nation. And then the second step, I believe, is travel in the region, the close by, so that US to Canada and Mexico and the Nordics traveling and Western Europe, etc., traveling to neighboring countries. And then I believe the third step will be intercontinental travel resuming. So, for example, vice presidents from Europe traveling over to America and vice versa. So I believe that this is the start of the trend shift in the tourism and travel sector. These are just, my assumptions based on what I see out there, what I hear from colleagues, friends. Some potential here, but as always, there is a risk side to this. We don't know about this bear virus, what it will do, what different variants may pop up and hinder the plans. Right now, where I am in Copenhagen, it's fully reopened. There's no mask mandates, nothing, people are vaccinated, walking around, all restrictions are lifted. And in Sweden, I know it is the same here very soon in the next month, in October. So maybe this reference point is a bit just tainted by my sort of local lens that I'm viewing the world on. The Nordics here, pre-opened. Maybe this is very, very different in other parts of the world. But remember, this is just one data point for you when you do your own analysis and try to predict the trends that drive business outcomes. All right? Invest safe, and I hope you make a lot of money trading, friends. Bye bye.